hope you're having a wonderful day today. Today is Wednesday. Welcome on in. Let's go ahead and turn our stream on. There we go. Hi everyone. What is everyone up to today? We're going to be working with soil today, so I'm pretty excited about that. Welcome on in, welcome on in. I always forget to run the ad while my pre-stream is going, so I just snoozed it. There we go. Snoozing away. But hello, welcome on in. Welcome both Twitch and YouTube. Are you ready for some things today? Garden stream this right now, and then Call of Duty later. We have lots of stuff that we can do today. Balek, hello there. Garden time. Yes, it is. I love garden time. It's amazing. One of the first things I need to do though, well, my main thing that I need to do today is I'm going to take my garden soil and I'm going to use all of it. I have roughly three bags that is still sealed that I think is going to be good to go. And I have my sterilized soil that I have in my buckets. And I also have a lot of shredded paper of stuff that I've shredded over the last couple of years to put into my containers to kind of be like a hold moisture for my plants. The water or the paper should. I'm hoping it gets really soaked, and it'll also hopefully provide some insulation for when it's still cold and then compost down. That's my hope. But Balek, what are you up to today? Oh, I totally played Pokemon Go on my walk with Remi. I did not get any new Pokemon though. That is for sure. Can you guys hear the music? That's loud enough, right? It's not overpowering, I hope. But welcome. Alright, I do need I totally forgot. I need to grab a, I think I have a active blade rod. I need to cut holes in here. I have these lovely little garden pots that I got years ago from the dollar store. I got them in 2 packs, but I decided to get 2 different colors so that way I can stack it up and have it every other color. But I need to poke holes in the bottom first. And I think just to help with like evaporation, I'm gonna poke a hole towards the inside portion of this. Now this one I think is my sister's, but it's the same exact as my other ones. So this should be good. I've never poked holes in these ones before. Oh hey, I probably could have just used like a chopstick or something. Because it's kind of perforated. Oh no, definitely would have needed the blade. There's going to be little plastic pieces on my floor, isn't there? Balek, how is it there right now? Did you guys get some of the storms that went through your area? I know the storm went, I think, all the way from Texas up through, was it Kentucky? Oops. I snapped my nail off. I don't do anything with my nails really, but sometimes they're weaker. Some of my nails are really strong, so I'm able to do things with them, but apparently not my pointer finger. I'll just throw it away. There we go. So I poked just one of the holes out. It gets really, really dry out here, so I want to make sure that these maintain as much moisture in the bottom as possible. Which I did think about not putting any holes in and just putting like a hole up farther so that way the water still stays in the bottom. But at the same exact time, if I at least poke one hole in, I should be okay because I don't want things to swamp. I can always look at gluing over and doing something else differently in the future, but for right now, just one hole I think I should be absolutely fine with. I did bring all my garden seeds down from my shelves because I feel like now, even though I went through one planting, I'm gonna have to start all over again since everything like died. And then any of my seeds that did survive, I'll just use those to add to everything. But I'm so excited to get soil and everything today. I'm gonna try to be quick about it because I want to get at least my radishes and lettuces planted. And hopefully tomorrow my plan is to start earlier. I had a lot of anxiety when I started today, so I definitely did not start right away. I may have spent an hour distracting myself with other things, procrastinating starting. I just get anxiety. I don't know why, it just happens. Balak, do you think that you'll get any garden seeds and do some plant starts? Or plant starting, or do some get some sort of plant from the store? And try your hand at it, something that you use often. Hole. There we go. Holes made. Now time for shredded paper and then soil. So I shred like all of my everything that like needs to get shredded, I guess, and I keep that paper to use for my garden stuff. I like doing that. Most of the time, or like before I started gardening, I would I wouldn't compost it, but I would recycle it, take it in places that it could get recycled. But then once I started gardening, then I was like, hey, I'll just dig a hole and put it in my garden beds. Because most paper, I think it's like soy-based inks, so everything is, you can compost it anywhere. Okay, I think these are really small containers, so I don't want to put like too much in, but I want to fully line the outsides. Shaylin, hello! I heard you started asking a question. Oh, adds one moment. Okay, so I was asking if you were going to look at getting any plants. Anything this year, like a seed start, or if you were tempted to buy any seeds and toss them out and see about watering them and seeing if you are going to grow anything this year. And if you also survived the bad weather that I know went through your area. That stretched up from like Texas going north all the way, I think it was all the way to Kentucky. Oh, Gusty Gill, hello also. Welcome on in. And Shay, how are you doing today? Shay is redeeming a treat for Remi. We can totally do that. Remi girl. Over here. Come over here. Yeah. Let me back up. Here, come closer. Can you say hello to everyone? Ooh. Yeah, I know it echoes out here, doesn't it? Can you touch? Good girl. Can you tell Shaylin thank you? Yes, good girl. Toe. Let's get a normal size treat. Okay, ready? Can I get another shake? Oh, good girl. Treat to sweet and Shaylin, thank you so much for the treat. Treat redemption. You spent too long on the internet. I spent too long procrastinating today. Zero, hello. Welcome on in. She's the absolute bestest buffer. She is. Remi, you're so sweet. Oh, my back was hurting earlier today, so I decided to lay down and like stretch out my back and like my legs and stuff like that. My shoulder is still giving me some problems like throughout my hand and stuff, but she was so cute and she came and laid down like right here and just like put her head over top my arm. You were so cute. Yeah, can I get some loves? Yeah, what your loves? Oh. You guys probably can't see her. Do you want to touch again? Oh, you're so good at that. Yes, you are. Good girl. Okay, break. Oh, you just want to be here? I wish you guys could see her wiggly body. She's so cute. Definitely need to work on getting Remi her own cam. I know that in the future they're already working on making those like cameras that like follow you around, don't they? Would that be cool to get one of those for Remi? I probably would not be able to keep up with her. Should we also, when you're running, like get a GoPro and like attach it to you to have everyone see how fast you run? Yeah? Would that be fun? What do you think? Oh, okay. She likes that idea. How are you doing today? I'm doing good. I may have been procrastinating my stream and my anxiety got the better of me, so I didn't start right away. But we are started now and we're gonna get all of our soil used. And we're gonna use shredded paper to put in the bottom of my pots here because I want to try to have it be in there like almost like an insulation. And I'm hoping that will also help maintain some of the moisture. So that is the plan. I'm gonna have shredded paper everywhere. That's okay, I'll vacuum and sweep up and stuff later. I don't leave for my work trip until Sunday morning. So my plan is to still do streaming every day, do the garden stuff, so like that way I can get all my seeds planted and whatnot, water everything really, really good. And look at that, it's gonna be so stacked up good. Words. Make sure I have everything cleaned up before I leave. So we'll get there. Balak, building some raised beds now? Oh my goodness, really? Can you totally post some pictures? I would love to see it. Trying to find where you can buy some taco and pizza seeds, hoping for a good yield. Oh my goodness. So, good pizza seeds are Roma tomato, wheat seeds. I mean, we almost all have experience with wheat seeds, right? Like planting them in Minecraft. But you actually do have to water these ones. You can't have them just by a water source. Oh my goodness. Are you really building raised beds though? Because that would be amazing. You're working on packing to leave your Airbnb. Done with work here, so it's time to drive home? Ooh, Zero, how far did you have to travel for work right now? Do you like your Airbnb? I love Airbnbs, especially since sometimes there's such a better deal than hotels, and I don't know, there's just something about them that is amazing. I've had such good experience with Airbnbs, and one of the Airbnbs that I had stayed at last year, even, was it last year or 2 years ago now? It might have been 2 years ago now. They actually wrote back on my review and gave me such a good review. They were so nice. They were like, they wish that we would have stayed longer. It was an Airbnb that my sister was at, or my sister and I were at for work. And we were there for a couple of days getting some computer work done and stuff. You've been out there for about 5 weeks? Well, at least it's only 6 hours and you don't have to drive like 15 hours or something like that, because that'd be a very long drive home. So at least it's just like a day drive home, right? It's a pretty nice Airbnb. Oh, that's so good. Okay, so these ones are filled with soil. Or not filled with soil. They're filled with paper. I'm gonna actually fill it with soil. Or actually no, I'm gonna fill up my other tower with paper before before I start with the soil. So let me not knock these over, because I don't want to knock them over. I'm gonna move them forward. We'll start like this. I have lots of shredded paper, so I'm definitely not gonna run out. I'm gonna swap though. I'm gonna put my container right here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me while I do this. Oh, Bri-Fi, I wonder how long until you look over here. Bri. I was trying to look over there, I'm sorry. You have a GoPro? Do you really? Force me to look at YouTube more. Wonder. Okay. I've been trying to be really good about, because I only have one screen, to be able to make sure I use my space really, really well. So hey, I caught YouTube chat. I've been doing really, really good about it on my garden streams. And a lot better about it just in general lately. So I've been really, really happy with that. I've been making improvements. Okay, I got distracted and I put all my shredded paper in this one. That might be okay though. Oh yeah, that's totally gonna be okay. Maybe I need more shredded paper. No, I have a ton of shredded paper. You guys are gonna, don't think I'm crazy, okay? Everyone's a little crazy. I just like to, I got into the habit of composting and doing all of that recycling, and it's really hard then moving to a place where they still want you to put all of your stuff into one dumpster, and it's really, really sad. So I'm glad that I'm doing the gardening stuff again. I've already composted down a lot of cardboard over this last year, and just my my 2 raised beds I have outside, and I think they're not really considered raised beds. I think they're only like 10 inches by 2 feet. And then my other little planters are only like little round planters that I planted garlic in the past. Okay, so this is a pretty big planter, and I have it like half filled with this, because I'm hoping to soak down the paper really, really well and get it like soaking wet. And it should expand and hold a lot of water, because over the next couple days I'm really going to make sure that I water it really well. And even the soil and stuff I have in here. So I'm hoping that the soil will stay moist. I'll actually be putting plastic over top of my planters when I leave for my work trip, to try to maintain some of the moisture, but still letting light in also. So that way things should sprout and germinate, and hopefully when I get back I'll have little seedlings. And I'm still working out exactly what I'm going to be doing as far as having water stay in here. I have some ideas though, so that way our water doesn't dry out over soil. Oh, Sally, you won't be getting the same one when you come back. It's 5 minutes away from where you were and will be working again. Well, right now I'm on my laptop out here. We need to get you another screen. I do have my stream manager on my Fire tablet, but for some reason I try to zoom in and I can't get the, like I can't zoom in on the text or anything like that. So like I can't see it. And like I could have it right here, but then knowing me, I'm gonna end up knocking it over. So I'm not exactly sure how I should go about doing that. I'll probably have to YouTube it, maybe, and try to find out a way to make the text bigger so I can actually use it better. What am I going to do with all these 1 by 1 holes of water you've already dug? Balak, what are you doing? See pictures of what you're doing, if you are actually doing garden beds or not. Oh, Zero. Toasty, I think, was telling me about using a program or something to have both my Twitch and YouTube in one chat also. If you find out that bot, if you are able to find out that bot, that would be greatly appreciated. You could ask her to get back to you on that. That would be amazing. Scout, hello! You are seriously building the beds? Balak! I'm so excited. You have no idea how excited I am right now. That Balak is building garden beds. Oh my goodness. Scout! So Restream does sort of combine chats. There's some questions about it, and so right now I am not using Restream. I'm actually using Streamlabs to stream to both Twitch and YouTube. And like I can see the dashboard if I go to Streamlabs dashboard, but I don't see like the chat or anything like that of how to add it. Does that make sense? So I'm wondering if I'm just not seeing it. Okay, more shredded paper. All right, tier number 2. Yeah, but I don't want to break anything. I have both chats up. Oh, you can put both. You can put both chats on screen without breaking. What does that mean? Like, where would I see that? Like on my actual Streamlabs desktop application? Alright, dumping shredded paper into this one. I feel like this paper is a lot fluffier than that paper. That paper I feel like was a lot more condensed down. I'm wondering if I should add a little bit more. I am slightly worried about having some of my plants outside because I know that it can still sometimes snow all the way into like May here. I know that last year I remember looking into the mountains. I think it was like, I think we were on the phone with my brother and like on, I think it was like June 4th or something like that. It was snowing in the mountains here. I can't remember exactly when, but I know that it was. why it was not sitting down on top. Ooh, let me grab my other bag of shredded paper real quick. I tried to put them so that way they're in easy reaching distance, but it doesn't always happen. You got some tomatoes, peppers, onions, lettuce, and cucumbers? Ooh. That would be awesome. Oh, dear, you can always send me a message on Discord if need be. Or on Twitch too. I do have the messages open, I think. I don't think I have them turned off. You know what I feel like I'm doing right now? Packing up Easter baskets. Do you guys ever put like the Easter grass in the bottom of baskets? And then you have to like move it around? Or like gift baskets and doing the different things? You're gonna pickle the cucumbers? Ooh. I'm really, really excited for you, Malik. It was always my favorite thing to watch the cucumber vines grow and to see the different pollinators just coming and just to pollinate the cucumber plants. I feel like the cucumbers always shoot off a lot of different flowers. The cucumbers, though, are always the sneakiest with missing one of them to pick, and then you don't get to it until it's like really, really, really huge. But then I end up just leaving that one all the way until like pretty much until it's full maturity and the skin is almost getting like harder. So, and then I collect seeds from that one. I did try to eat one once and it was so bitter. It was not tasty at all. I couldn't even make it into pickles. It was bad. I did try. I wasn't gonna not try. I took all the seeds out of it and I tried making the edges into it, or into pickles yet. I did think about trying to eat it like squash and baking it, but I was not brave enough. You always forget to have the Discord, or you have the Discord thing? Oh, I message people back on Discord all the time. Should I not be doing that? There are some, in some instances, there's some where I do not message back on Discord because I like don't recognize them in like any of the communities or any of the streams or anything like that. And there's sometimes too where like I'm curious, so I peek at the viewer list and where it's like the questionable ones where it's like, nope, don't trust that. I'm just not going to message them back. Also, what are people's opinions on, do you accept friend requests from everybody that sends you friend requests on Discord? Or how do you determine doing that? I'm a person that has anxiety, so I get scared sometimes about that. Remi has shredded paper shreds on her. You know how like doggies are when they're really, really like the black as night and they have the snowflakes on them? Like I think I posted pictures of Remi with snowflakes on her previously. She's like that right now, but with shredded paper. Did I get one on your ear? I saw me. Oh my goodness, she's so cute. All right, I think I actually like putting the shredded paper up higher all the way up the sides. So I'm gonna go back through and do that with the ones I already did. Okay, let me just dump the rest in here. I definitely don't have that rule because I like talking to all you peoples. There we go. You also have anxiety? So maybe you're the wrong person to ask, but I generally only friend people that I want to continue interacting with. If I don't recognize the name, if it's out of the blue, you don't add it as a friend, or if you're unsure or getting to know them. That is really good advice. I like that. Thank you. Ooh. Yes. Also people you want to play games with and such in the future? Remi's trying to get one of the pieces of paper off of her head. Here, let me help. Yeah, did I get some on you? She's like, yeah, Mom. So much shredded paper, I love it. Especially since when I go through to put soil in, I really pack soil in. So me using the shredded paper, I think will also really help in ensuring too that these don't get like super, super heavy. She's redeeming a hydrate. I can totally do that. We'll do my electrolyte water. Yeah. Reminder to everyone to drink water. Hydration is so important for your body. So important. Jay, thank you for the hydration. I have some strawberry kiwi electrolytes that I've been adding in. Okay, so I have paper added to these. So let's go ahead and fill these up with soil. And then I can always come back and I'll come back to the paper because I do also have another big bag of shredded paper and I'll add it to my pots after I get these filled with soil. Because I'm kind of curious now. I might actually use both 5-gallon buckets to fill up these containers. I really want to fill up my little ones first though because they're so cute. Here's my container. I will actually maybe put some of my coffee grounds and compost stuff, like my coffee grounds and my tea grounds and stuff, and some of it is also, like, I do have to pick through my parsley, or not my parsley, I did keep celery stems, but I haven't been keeping a very good eye on them, or the roots of my onions, so I do want to replant those today, as well as my snake plant, but I'll put those in different containers. We'll do that after we get these filled with soil. These, I will not be putting any of those in. Oh, no. I'm gonna have to do this. Boop. Over the top of my table. It was good for the shredded paper, because I could control that a little more. You're okay, Remmers. Yeah. Let me set this back down. Roll my cart over just a wee bit. You realize you need to drink some water? So I get you too. Yeah! That's one of the things that I like about the hydration redemption is that if I'm watching another stream, it's a good reminder for me too to drink water when people redeem it. Now, the fact of redeeming it to drown some people, I can understand that it is funny, but I try not to do that unless it's queso. Then I'm totally okay with redeeming a bunch of hydrates. I mean, I know that might be a little mean, but it's also a little bit funny. I can't help it. Although, Brian, I'm pretty sure that Wi-Fi was trying to drown me the other day. Alright, so I'm going to put soil in here, and I'm actually going to pack it in as much as possible. Because there'll already be enough aeration from the perlite that we put in and everything. So we should be good to go on that. I'm going to bring my bucket of soil over from the other side. Remi's laying down by my feet here on my right. So I don't want to get hurt. Ooh, I just cracked my shoulder. Making sure that the paper stays insulated around the outside. I have actually gone through some of my planters before and put bubble wrap and lined the outside of it. Not the bottom though, just because the bottom, I did not line the bottom. I actually did shredded paper and cardboard in the bottom. And then my bigger ones, I did the bubble wrap around the outside to kind of almost have like almost like greenhouse insulation a little bit. I can't remember if I put any shredded paper around the outsides when I did that. But I felt like it did a good job at insulating my plants. But the reason I didn't put the bubble wrap around the bottom side is, if I remember correctly, I put my planters down and then I actually mulched around the bottom of the planters, like a good couple inches. So I didn't need to worry about insulating them. The mulch insulated them. An ad has started. Excuse me. For people that do not have ads, does it still tell you that there's an ad break going? Oh, do not take over, please. Now I'm going to fill this all the way up to the top with soil. Pack it in as much as possible. Nope, that's a bigger piece of mulch. We'll toss that over there to dry. Your friend says it's called, okay, so it is the Restream service. I'll have to see if maybe, because I do have like the free version of Restream. No, that wouldn't work. I'll have to see if Streamlabs Desktop has something where maybe it has something that's similar with it. My soil is like bouncy, squishy. It's like I don't know, it's very bouncy. I want to make sure that the soil around the edges here and in the middle is actually, I'll have to take some of this out in the middle, I think, because I'll actually need to make sure that the planter on top will still be able to sit down in the middle. Ooh, my left ear is ringing. It's always funny when that happens. Do you guys ever hear the wife's tale of your ears are ringing when someone's talking about you? I hope it's all nice things. Oh, it does tell you in the mod view. Okay. Oh, Zero, I feel the same way. I also hate packing. I'm going to be gone for 16 days in total, I think. Yeah, 16 days in total. And my suitcase right now, I can't even close it. Um, and I don't have my shower bag in there yet. So I totally get you. I always put everything in my suitcase that are things that I want to take along with, but that I know I'm not going to be able to take everything along with. And now it gives me time before Sunday to slowly take stuff out of my suitcase that I'm like, okay, I don't need to take this type of a thing. But yeah, I overpack all the time. And somehow, too, when you're packing going, I always feel like my suitcase is way, well, actually, about 50% of the time, I can never get stuff to fit back in my suitcase as good as when I started my trip. Or sometimes I feel like, what did I take out of my suitcase? Like there's extra room sometimes in my suitcase at the end of a trip, and I get anxiety that I forgot something at a hotel. You recommend storage bins for longer trips? That is actually an idea that I found that a lot of people actually use. That the only thing that they use for their clothing, or for like clothing, is suitcases in some instances where they want something that's going to be rolling and it's just for like immediate use stuff. But otherwise, I have siblings that for cow shows and stuff, they use storage bins. They use the totes. That way they can also stack them on the cattle trailer to go to events. And they don't have to worry about things getting wet or anything like that. Or even if they put stuff on the back of the truck. If we ever have suitcases, which I normally travel with a suitcase, they still travel with suitcases sometimes, or even duffel bags. But then we end up putting them into like big, huge construction garbage bags, so that way they do not get wet. But they also, yeah, especially for my nephews, they do the storage bins. The big, huge totes. It'd be a lot nicer if they had wheels and stuff for totes. My sister and I, we usually use a cart when we go on work trips too. But the cart that she has, it doesn't always like to keep totes on it. And we sometimes use like a baler twine to tie our totes to the cart when we're going from the vehicles to the hotel rooms. It's pretty funny watching us travel for work. Shay with the Van Hammer, thank you so much. You guys are such awesome mods. I'm so grateful to you all. Thank you, thank you. Oop, soil in here. It happens. You try. You guys do an amazing job. Seriously, thank you. Let's see if this fits. Ooh, that one fits way better than the last one. But I want to make sure that there's no air in between the soil and where this and where it has contact with the bottom of my container in the middle. So I actually need to add some more soil. And the reason that you do not want to have it have access like free-flowing air is because it will reduce the amount of water that evaporates. So I might even, after I have these stacked up, I might actually take some soil and pack it in around, so that way it stays kind of all contained in there. It'll have less water evaporation because there's less surface area for water to evaporate. So I'm not sure if you could see that a little bit, where I just packed soil in around. Oh, you know what? I could actually pack that soil in there right now. And maybe it'll be a little bit easier for me to find ways of where these are supposed to stack in. Trial and error. this one back. It's so cute. I feel like I'm playing in a sandbox. Okay, that is packed in the middle. Packing soil around the base. Awesome. I am curious that once I give everything a really good watering down, how much my soil will settle. That's another reason why you want to make sure that you pack your soil in, so that way when it settles, there's a lot of plants that they like when the soil is compacted. So that's why you want to have nice compacted soil too. Oh, so I don't know if I mentioned this yet, probably not. But what I want to do after I get this filled and this ends up going outside, this stack is actually, I'm going to stack it directly on top of here. And I will then be taking some twine and I will make sure that this stack of 4 is securely tied to this stack of 3. And that will help. It's really, really windy out here in Idaho. That'll help my plants not blow away. At least that's my hope. And I'd rather tie it down with baler twine and make sure that it stays secure instead of waiting and seeing if it'll blow away first. I'd rather just tie it down first, and I'd rather be safe than sorry, because my plants are my plants. I don't want them to blow away or get hurt. So, yep, that's the plan. That is what I'm going to do. Ooh, I can use some more shredded paper in here. Hi, Rimmers. Are you going to help me do that? Okay, I probably didn't need that much more. She is such a cutie patootie. I can see your tail wiggling. She's looking back at me like, I'm walking away. Do you need anything from me? You go eat. Go eat. Get some food, Rimmers. Yeah, get some water, get some food. Do you want to come talk instead? You can come talk instead. Do you want to come tell them a story? Here, come over and tell them a story. What kind of a story do you want to tell? Here, come closer so they can hear you. Can you tell them a story? Can you tell them louder? Can you tell it louder? Can you tell it a little bit louder? Oh yeah? Okay, tell them about the story. Yeah? After my stream yesterday, she was so talkative, and I was like, okay, Remi, you can't be that loud though. Like, I'm like, my neighbors will not be so happy after the stream. Because it was really, really late, and you were full on, like, so excited and talking. She was so good for the stream yesterday. But I had given her her toy ball with a treat in it, and then I was like, well, she came back in after I gave it to her, and she was really, really excitedly talking to me about, just talking to me, and I was like, well, Remi, I gave you your treat toy. I'm like, let me get stuff shut down, and here she had actually gotten her toy stuck in the blinds, and she needed help getting it out. And here I thought she was actually, sometimes when we go outside, she likes to go for, she likes being outside. I thought she just wanted to go back outside. And I was like, no, she got her toy ball stuck. Because she looks at you with those pleading eyes, and it's like, Remi, what are you looking for? Ooh, you're gonna eat with your husband for a little bit? Ooh, are you guys gonna play some Phasmo? Or what are you guys gonna play? But yes, definitely lurk away. Also, hello, Shay Hubby. Ooh, nice little rock. Yay, husband of doom. Stick some of this along the sides. Oh, that was a big piece of mulch. I don't always get the mulch out of there when I'm mixing up the soil. It's gonna happen where you don't always get it all right away. Alright, let's go through and pat this in. What is going on with everyone this week? What have you all been up to? I am very much so looking forward to Friday and a chiropractor appointment again. But I think if I'm able to get enough of the soil and stuff done before Saturday, so if I can get it all done by tomorrow, maybe Friday, I can look at, I'll do a poll in my Discord and get in a couple hours of Monster Hunter, and we'll do a poll between either doing Monster Hunter Rise or doing the new Monster Hunter of Monster Hunter Wilds. Pac-Man, welcome back! You're trying to figure out where this week went? I know, it goes by really fast. Last week went by super fast. There's multiple days too where I'm like, what day is it? And it's like, no, it's way later. And I was like, no. And I'm pretty sure last week, Thursday, I thought it was only Tuesday. So I definitely lost a couple days. What do you think has made your week really, really busy? Oh, do I still have soil in here? Oh, goodness. That is a good thing that your trash cans did not need to go out then. That is always the worst feeling in the world when you have forgotten to put out trash cans and the trash is like, you can hear the truck on its way, or you're at work and you know it's trash day and you forgot to take them in, and like you have no way to get, or your trash can is like absolutely full or overflowing, and you've been waiting for the trash to go out so you can take the next bag out to the trash can or something like that. I've had all those instances before. Another stick. one thing that I want to try to do more in the future is I'm very, very excited about trying to compost more. So that way I don't have as much like garbage that actually needs to go out, if that makes sense. This right in the middle. Ooh, so I have a ton of things that I'm looking forward to be planting. I want to look at planting as many herbs that I can use for cooking as possible. I'm going to plant some determinate and dwarf varieties of tomatoes. I want to look at planting a cucumber plant. I do have some trellising that I can use, i.e. I'm going to try to use my trellising on my porch for my cucumbers. And also for my peas too. I want to try to plant some peas. They like the colder weather. Cucumbers, I might not actually plant cucumber seeds though until I get back for my work trip. And that way I can stream outside too. Hopefully it'll be really, really nice outside. But I want to plant lots of lettuces, things that I'm going to be using on a regular basis. I won't be able to really plant any squashes or pumpkins or watermelons or anything like that in the space that I have, but I am going to try to grow as much as possible in the space that I have. So I have a lot of seeds that I'm going to go back through. One of the main things that I want to look at planting in one of my big tubs that I have back here is I'm going to plant it full of radishes. I was so sad when the mushroom spores transferred over to my radishes and killed off a lot of my radishes. Yeah. So I'm glad that we sterilized soil, and I'm going to be having them out with more airflow and stuff like that too. And the sun is going to help a lot. Pac-Man, do you plant a lot of vegetables? Or any type of plants? Oops. I also need to look at replanting my snake plants and planting out my spring onions that I have here. The aloe plants, those I'm going to keep in a glass of water. I actually have a really tall vase of water, and I'm going to borrow some of my sister's vases to put some stuff in that needs to stay in water while I'm gone, using those inside, so that way there's a lot of water in there. And I'm going to try to figure out, I know I have a styrofoam pieces somewhere that I can look at using them to keep my plant floating above water, so that way the stems don't rot for my celery. I need to clean those up because they're store-bought celery, and see if what kind of celery that they are, if I can keep them in water and try to grow roots out the bottom. Because if you guys didn't know that, you can actually, the middle of your store-bought celery, the parts where a lot of people don't eat it, they just throw it out or they compost it, you can actually try to regrow roots from the base of that stem, and you can almost have like a perpetually growing celery plant. I know I had a celery plant back when I lived in Tennessee that I had for like 3 years, and it was growing nonstop even through the winter time. Oh, Pac-Man, you should totally try it again. And if the kids have something that is like one of their favorite things to grow, try just growing that. And maybe have them name the plants. Sometimes I find that with kids, having them name their plants works a lot better. or if it's something that they really, really like, that's like their favorite thing to eat, uh, that works a lot better also. One thing that I'm really excited to do is I want to try to grow some edible flowers also after I get my veggie seeds in. If I have any extra room, I'm going to be doing edible flowers because my one nephew likes eating those with me. So that's something where I know that when they were over here last time, they were asking if my snake plants were edible or my aloe plant is edible, and I was like, no, you can't eat that. Like, my aloe plant is really sick, so you definitely can't eat that. And the snake plants, I'm like, nope, that's poisonous. But when I had a basil plant 2 years ago, they were eating some leaves off of that, and one of the years at the farmer's market, I had gotten some microgreens, and at the top of the microgreens, they actually had a layer of edible flowers. And my nephews were so excited about eating edible flowers. They thought it was really cool that you could eat something that was pretty. But if you're worried about like that, sometimes it's too much work. I totally get that. When I planned ahead for like my work trips, I would make sure that I had drip irrigation. So even when I was home and there was like other stuff that I had going on, I knew that my garden was almost self-sufficient in a way. I like trying to have things as self-sufficient as possible. So like that's why I'm trying to make sure that I pack my soil in here. I'm going to try to make sure that I'm going to try to do things where I don't have to worry about watering them twice a day or even just once a day. That I'm hoping that all the seeds I put in, or hopefully I can get all my seeds in, that pretty much it takes care of itself and you do like minimal maintenance with it. Because I could spend hours and hours, like 12-hour days out in the garden. I've definitely done that before, especially since I love growing tomato plants. And I think it was 3 years ago, I had about 200 varieties of tomato plants that I had grown. So I had over 200 plants of just tomatoes. Because I think what I did between 3 to 6 plants per variety. And I had over 31 garden beds. And oh my goodness, I could spend all day out there trimming and trellising and just taking care of tomato plants. Your daughter loves cucumber? She has been busy with work lately? It could totally be something where even just like an hour every few days, where you can get like an automated timer so it waters on its own to try to make a plan and set something up. That way you can have daddy-daughter time. You could almost create like a sanctuary for your cucumbers. One really cool thing that I want to try to do with binding plants is to create like an arch trellis to have things grow up over the top. I know that when I've grown cucumbers in the past, is they like to climb naturally. There's a few times where every couple of days I'd have to like train things a little bit and like weave it through where I want it to grow. But for the most part, it took care of itself because I grew it along a fence line. But I think it'd be really cool to grow things along an arch, because then when things grow up and over, the fruit will hang down and grow. And then it will be really easy harvesting. For me, when I do a cucumber plant, I think I'm definitely going to wait until I get back, but I'm going to try just using my patio to trellis my plants. And I'll probably only go out there when I take like my first cup of coffee of the day, even though normally I go and I take it in by my desk and and start looking and trying to get work stuff and doing other things. I'll probably take like 10 or 20 minutes to go out and make sure that my stuff is watered and whatnot. If you can, maybe try to make a plan and see if you can make that plan a thing. You seen how tomatoes do great in archways or trellises? They do. A lot of those varieties, they're called indeterminate tomatoes. And what that means is that they will grow an indeterminate amount or length. So some of them, they will continue to grow until they die. And it's just like a continuous vine plant. And I absolutely love that. I've also seen it where they do like melons and pumpkins and squashes. So cool. I get so excited about all that stuff. A lot of my tomatoes in the past, I actually used cattle panels, and I used bolt cutters, and I cut them into 4-foot sections. And then I used T-post, and I think I liked the 7-foot T-post the best, just because they were taller and I felt like they could handle more weight for the larger varieties of tomatoes that I had. But I also did have a few 6-foot fence posts too. 6 and 5-foot fence posts that worked fine. They had to be the big T-post though. If you did the smaller ones, they just fell right over. Okay, let's pack that soil in there. And this one's going to be my very, very top one, but because I'll be planting and whatnot, I'm still going to make the divots in the top. Just in case the top one ends up being the bottom one and vice versa. Oops, that's a piece of mulch. All these little pieces of mulch, I'm actually going to be using for my aloe plants. So I'll let them dry out and then I'll put them into my aloe plant. So voila. That one is good to go. Now for the big one. Okay, let me make sure I don't accidentally knock that onto the floor. I'm going to attempt to stand up and do this, and hopefully you guys will still be able to see me. I guess I didn't really test this out very well. Let me move the stool. Alright, let me take this and set it on the floor. I'm really excited to grow some tomatoes though. Most of the varieties of tomatoes that I want to try growing though are going to be all of my dwarf varieties. And then once I get through and see how many dwarf varieties of tomatoes I have, then I might pick out some determinate sizes. But I am not going to grow any indeterminate tomato varieties because I don't have the room. So sadly, I do not have the room for it. All right. Eee, let's not get my hair in there. So there are some cherry tomatoes that are dwarf varieties. I have grown several varieties of cherry tomatoes that are indeterminate, but there's actually several varieties of, well, there's two that I can think of right off the top of my head that are considered a dwarf or a smaller determinate. One's like a silvery fir tomato plant that I want to try growing. Its leaves literally almost are as dark as like an evergreen tree. And even the shape of the tomato leaf is completely different. That's going to be one that I'm going to try growing, and the tomato is bigger on that one. So it still grows in a small space, but it has a big yield yet. But not all cherry tomatoes are dwarf. Some of them also still grow to a very, very large size. That's a lot of vermiculite on the top. That should be okay. Alright, let's pack this all in. So I probably could have used more shredded paper, but I think we'll be okay. Oh, I love cherry tomatoes though. Some of my favorite ones was, there's one that's called like champagne bubbles, I think, but they're little tiny tomatoes. They're kind of a hassle to harvest sometimes because I only try to harvest what's ripe, and they grow in like a string of tomatoes, and then there's these little tiny tomatoes going all the way up the string of it on either side, but they're so little and they just pop in your mouth like tiny little grapes. It's really cool. I like those ones. Or there's like a pear cherry tomato. Those are really good. I can't remember which ones though off the top of my head are determinate or indeterminate. I know there's like a Tiny Tim or a Tiny Tom. That one's a dwarf variety. I remember that one, or those two. Oh, I wish I could grow all of my tomatoes. All of my seed starts though probably won't even fit in the apartment. If I were to grow all of the different seeds that I have. I am going to try though again to put some coffee seeds in to see if I can get those to germinate. I was really, really sad when, I think that was probably one of the first containers I had mushrooms growing in. I was so sad about that. Alright, my soil is definitely going to go by fast. But the good thing about having like deeper containers, and I will also look at doing like a supplemental fertilizer for some of these, probably like halfway through the summer, is I'll not only have like a tomato plant in here, but then I might do like a basil plant and maybe like a lettuce plant. So each one of these containers is going to have multiple plants in them. So I'm going to try to make the best of my space as possible. I'm so excited. This is crazy how fast I'm using all of this up. All the soil that I prepped is not even going to go for some of these containers. Another reason why I also like having the paper in there on the bottom is because I also feel like it helps with soil retention when you're watering raised towers like this. Because soil sometimes, drains out, it kind of helps to filter and keep the soil in. So that way just the water kind of runs out. And possibly any like fine silts that can make it through. I love making a mess. Okay. Let's try this out. Come on. Pack that in. So one of the reasons why I will never look at um, tying these together is because each one of these is really, really heavy, and I don't ever want to hurt myself by tying them all together and trying to lift all 3 tiers at once. You never want to do that. Don't hurt yourself. Even with the paper in here filling up half of it, it's still pretty heavy. Plus, I'm not going to tell my chiropractor that I was lifting really heavy things. I don't want that to happen. There we go. Once I get this one full of soil, it'll kind of help to pack down the next layer down too. I want to make sure that this isn't too heavy for what I have this on, that it's not too heavy for the coaster wheels. Oh goodness, Pac-Man. As I told Lady Gwen yesterday, no one is ever old. We are always young for forever. For forever and ever. Alright, I'm gonna set this on the ground. And pull this one up right away. And sometimes I forget myself and I'm just like, no, I can lift that. Like I used to toss hay bales back in the day. Toss them up in the rafters to stack them in the hay shed. Like, doing that is no big deal. And then sometimes I'm like, nope, I haven't done that in a while. That is so not a good idea to lift something so heavy. All right. So I have a lot of perlite and vermiculite in the bottom of this one that I didn't realize did not get mixed in. So I'm gonna mix one of my other bags of garden soil that does not have any of it in yet in here with it. Ooh, this one seems like it has a lot of mulch in it. And that piece seemed like it might have been a little moldy. Hold on. Oh no, that was fine. Look how nice and dark that is. I like really nice, dark, nutrient-rich soil. Okay, I'm gonna put the handfuls in. Young enough to feel it in the morning. When my nephews ask me how old I am, I tell them that I'm as old as the hills and young as a raindrop. I put a little bit too much in here. But no, I like that one. Old enough to know better, young enough to feel it in the morning. Does anyone else have a saying that they like to say? One of my friends, Bobby, he would always say as old as the hills, and that's where I had actually gotten it from. I can't remember how long ago that was, like 5-6 years ago. I think Bobby actually still streams on Twitch also. Trying to think if I've seen him stream lately. So yeah, I always like saying that, as old as the hills. Although I think if I remember correctly, the first time that I remember hearing it, it almost made me feel like that would be a thing that Gandalf would say. Shadow Star, welcome back. Welcome on in. How are you doing today? Thank you for also redeeming that hydrate yesterday before we ended the stream. Super appreciate that. I did redeem it during my Call of Duty stream last night. So thank you, I appreciate it. Oh, there's some perlite right there. Let's mix that around. Right. Pack that down in there. This soil is almost so dark, it feels like oil. Feels like I had my hands in tractor hydraulics. It feels really nice though. And can you guys still hear the music okay? Should I switch up music? I just realized that I totally forgot to do that. Oh, no, that is totally okay. So I've been putting shredded paper into the bottom because not only will I be able to like compost it in the pots, but for several different reasons. The main reason is for insulation because it's still gonna get really, really cold here, and I want to try to protect my plants as much as possible because a lot of my plants, the ones I'm planting right now, they'll be cold hardy. The plants that are not cold hardy, I'll make sure that I keep them inside, but the ones that are going outside right now, they're cold hardy, but I want to try to protect them as much as possible. So this will actually provide some good insulation for them inside the pot. And another good thing that'll be good about it is it will also try to help keep the soil in here. So when I water, it should help to keep the soil from, like, minimize drainage on my soil. It should also help with water retention too. So hey, ask away. It's totally okay if questions are asked multiple times. I used to actually put bubble wrap in some of my containers, but bubble wrap is expensive, and I'd rather use it to pack up my breakable stuff. So right now it's all in my storage unit. Let's get this out of there. So like, especially for a lot of my planters that I would leave outside all year round, but I would still leave it covered. Those planters, I would line the entire inside of it in bubble wrap, and then I would still sometimes put packing peanuts in the very, very bottom, but I wouldn't put the bubble wrap in the bottom just because of drainage. I didn't want water to be sitting in the pot and then having it freeze in there. But yeah, I would line it with bubble wrap. And that way when it would get really, really sunny out, it would heat up the pots really nicely too. I always felt like that did that. And normally, like last year, I did not have shredded paper. So what I actually used was cardboard. Cardboard from pretty much anything. And I lined my boxes that I have outside and my planters I have outside. And that was my insulation. I probably did it about like 1/2 inch to 1 inch thick around the entire outside. And I actually added more soil to my garden boxes recently. And I was curious, so I took some of it out. There's only like a little bit of it left. I think my biggest piece was like this big of cardboard that was left. So it all composts down. So this is all from like mail that I've gotten, that or stuff that needed to get shredded. So, yep, it gets multi-uses. You heard about folks lining their gardens beds with boxes? So the main reason that people would also do their garden beds with boxes is to trap to kill the grass underneath. So that way it composts, worms really like paper and they really like cardboard. So it also helps to bring the worms up to the surface of the ground where they put the cardboard boxes down. So that way they help to like, it'll kill the grass underneath having the cardboard boxes down and also get all that soil broken up, and the worms will help to compost down the cardboard and it'll kind of help to get all that stuff going. Did that just make sense? Helps against weeds? Yes. I had a really bad problem though, where I would still get runner grass like crazy. And what is the other one? Creeping something. Although I really liked the creeping one because it stayed to the outside of my boxes and kind of shaded them in a way. I built all my boxes out of pallet wood that I took apart. So my across was about 40 inches, and then I was 8 feet long for my garden boxes. Not creeping nettle. Creeping Jenny? Maybe it was creeping Jenny. Creeping nettle is like stinging nettle. Is it called creeping nettle? Maybe it is called creeping nettle. Those are actually really good plants for you. Even though they sting when they get older, the younger ones are more tender. They're full of vitamins and minerals. Some people actually use nettle now as like an arthritis treatment. So even though like it'll sting your skin a lot, people will still use it, and like there's a whole following on it apparently. I know nettle is like a stinging nettle. It has all those little tiny barbs in it. Or not, they're not really barbs. They're like little needles, little nettles. Is that perlite or is that a pebble? That's a pebble. That can stay in here though. All right. This one's empty. Do I have enough perlite and vermiculite in here? Yes. I had a little bit of mold in the top of that bag, but I don't see any actual mold in there, so I'm thinking we're okay. I just know that there's mold in it just because I can smell it a little bit. So if I end up seeing mold growing, I'll make sure I take that out. Now, one thing I should have explained a little bit, so I'm making this along the top, but I want to make sure that when I'm watering that the water just doesn't run off the sides. I want to make sure that when I'm pressing this down that there's still like a little bit of grooves where the water will be able to pool going in instead of just running off the outsides. Make sure that there's enough room for this. For some reason, is sometimes always the hardest for me. There we go. Spotted dead nettle, you guess you were similar to Creeping Charlie. I'll have to look those up. Alright, let's move this off of here. I should really grab a note card and stuff so I can write stuff out as I'm streaming, because I can't really, I don't know if I should type away at my keyboard and get soil all over it. Alright, let me move this off the side a little bit and bring this over. So it's out of this bag. I thought I could smell a little bit of mold, and I think I do see it. Just go ahead and put it over here. It's either mold or the soil is hydrophobic. I can't really tell. I'm going to set this bag off to the side. Don't mind my mess. And grab this garden bag and see what's in this one. Negative. Let's get the rest of this potting soil in. Extract a little bit of soil on the ground. Oh yeah, this soil is really nice. I don't want to use the moldy soil. Like, I just feel like that's detrimental to your plants. You have 3 teenagers. All you have to do is walk 20 feet to one of their rooms. So you'll see so much worse. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that background. I try to keep things clean, and sometimes it's like, well, if I do a project, things get dirty. All right, so I'm gonna put some perlite in, probably like 2 cups worth. Ooh, look at all that. I don't know if you guys can see that. Redeeming one of my own hydrates. Says that an ad is starting in a few minutes. So if you get the ad, please stick around until afterwards. I'm gonna get that closed at first right away. Wait, did the ad just start or did the ad just end? I was too far away to tell. Alright, some vermiculite. I'll probably add about 1.5 to 2 cups also. Vermiculite is the really, really shiny stuff. So I don't know if you'll actually be able to see that. It's like one of my favorite things. See how shiny? And then mix that all in. Should have did it like I did the other day and only do 1/2 bucket at a time, but this works just fine. Mix this half together. I probably can actually add a little bit more to this because there's kind of a lot in there. And I'm wondering if I put too much in, so I'm going to add more soil to it. Welcome back, everyone. This one has lots of mulch sticks in it. If you're ever mixing up soil, always be careful. A lot of people like wearing gloves because you don't want to get like sticks and stuff in your fingernails and to protect your hands. I'm okay with digging around in the soil and playing in the dirt. I mean, I work with cows a lot, so I'm totally okay with it. But if you're using just your bare hands and you're mixing soil and stuff together, especially if it's really, really woody and stalky, be careful that you don't get like a sharp stick and get it in underneath your fingernails. Always be careful of how you're mixing stuff. Even I try to be careful and I still end up getting stuck with slivers every now and again. So just be really, really careful. See, look at that. Big pieces of mulch. There we go. So I like making sure it looks like a nice good mixture. Like a nice little trail mix. Are you saying I'm lucky because I like working in the dirt? Ooh, that's another rock. That's a bigger rock. We'll take that one out. All right, let's move my stool back. Bring my table back over a wee bit. Oh, because I get to work with cattle? I'm actually going to be on my last work trip this next week, working at a cattle show. But just for the one photographer that I work for, though. But yeah, it's so exciting. I love it. I just wish that it was like more of a steady job. So that's why I'm really excited. I want to try to be streaming more, but then I'm also looking for like other job searches and whatnot. So I'm also excited for that too. Oh, I think my webcam just changed its lighting because of the white bucket. So sorry about that if that keeps changing. I just realized that. But maybe in the future I'll still be able to work with cattle a lot more. I'm really excited about that. Actually, not maybe. In the future, going to be working with cattle more. I'm very, very, very excited about it. Yep. Got lots of plans. Okay. You have a family in Michigan that raise horse and cattle. Really? So I work with dairy cattle specifically. I've never actually worked with horses or, I suppose the extent of beef would be that sometimes we would have bull calves born, and some of my really good friends showed beef cattle. So we would sell our bull calves to them, and they would raise them as steers for the show. Your cousin was a bull rider? What? I've seen bull riding. It's actually really, really cool. I just saw some bull riding this January. It was so much fun. It was so cool. Let me see here. What are you doing, computer? Okay, I'm gonna mix up the music a wee bit. And do this music for a little bit. Because I realized I still had the other song on repeat. There we go. Can you hear the music or should I turn it up? Jeff, hello! Welcome on in. What's the best self-defense? What is the best? Well, I know the best defense is a good offense for basketball. What are you talking about for good self-defense? Just good, good knowledge? What do you think is the best self-defense? You do hear the music? Is it too loud? I can always turn it down. Oh goodness, Jeff. A swift kick? That, I don't know why, but that made me think of Fartog the Magnificent in Anastasia. Where he's like, yeah, and I kick her, sir. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever seen that? Oh, it was just fine? Okay, I will turn it back down. What is my... Oh, oh, it's still fine? Well, if I need to turn it back up, let me know. I can always do that. Oh, I do not have like an all-time favorite movie. I have so many favorite movies. Here's another piece of mulch. We'll take that out. That's a bigger piece of rock. We'll take that out too. So I don't always like having the sticks in here because if I ever need to transplant a plant or when I'm like planting seedlings, I don't like having the big huge sticks in here because then sometimes it like rips out the root systems of the neighboring plant that I have in. So that's why I always try to take those out. And there are some times where if I get other ones that are bigger, but I still want to keep them in, I sometimes still break them down a little bit further, just so that way they compost down in here a little bit faster. Now, I have a long list of movies that I like. Everything from like Disney movies to not Disney movies. Like a not Disney movie, a far from Disney movie would be like Red. And a Disney movie would be like Tangled or Cinderella. Ooh, John Wayne. Yes. I I really like John Wayne movies. Clint Eastwood, also good. Oh, Sam Elliott, why can I not place that with a face? I recognize the name, I can't match it up with the face of who it is. But I grew up because my dad always loved watching John Wayne movies, so we grew up watching John Wayne. I think for a while there, I think Rio Lobo was like one of my favorite ones. And then She Wore Yellow Ribbon was also a favorite. The Searchers was really good. Sam Elliott was the dad in The Ranch. I don't know if I remember that one. With Fred Astaire and all the old actors. There are some old black and white ones that I do like. Although I am addicted to a lot of the newer movies too. Ooh, one movie that I just watched recently. Well, I can say recently. This year. Have you guys ever seen Bedknobs and Broomsticks? That one is so good. I love that one. Ooh. Alright, so this one bucket is empty. I need to mix this one up yet because I poured the rest of the soil from that last bag in here. And, oh, that's actually a little seedling. We'll actually, I don't want him to grow up in here, so we'll compost him more than likely. Oh yeah, I forgot I was gonna put my compost in here. You know what, that's totally okay. I'll actually put it in my garden beds out there. Because those ones are definitely not anywhere near topped off. Oh, I've never seen that. The Ranch was that Netflix show where Ashton Kutcher, where they tried to keep the farm afloat. Yeah, I never saw that one. Jonas, thank you for the subscription. Thank you. Welcome to YouTube. Or welcome to my YouTube channel. That was a subscription over on YouTube. Thank you. I am currently streaming both on YouTube and Twitch. So welcome on in. I know I've heard really great things about Yellowstone, and I still haven't seen that yet either. There's another one that I haven't seen, and I've heard really good things about it. What is it called? Was there also a newer Lonesome Dove series? I feel like there was a newer Lonesome Dove series. I remember the original movies. I haven't seen all of like Westworld. Was that also something that they had some stuff in it? Maybe I'm thinking about something completely different. There's some clumps of dirt in here that I'm trying to break apart. Whew, that was some perlite yet. That was not completely mixed in. There we go. That soil's all mixed together. Alright, I'm only gonna put a... Oh, I don't know what that one's from. Let's mix that in. Oh, that noise is from this current song. I might skip it. Nope, it stopped. Okay. That song had like clicking noises at the end of it. It is a gaming mix, so I apologize. I was gonna try to find like a country low-key mix, but the royalty-free one, there wasn't one, so I working with what I have. The ranch though, I'll need to add that to my list. Oh, that is a big piece of mulch. That one's really big. Oh, Bridget, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. All right, this one is full. Sweet. So I still have some soil in my bucket, so we will finish filling up containers. And you know what? That means I can start taking containers that I filled up, which I was actually thinking about using both of these. Come on. Because I was thinking that that would have better water retention, but now that I'm looking at it, I'll probably just plant into here, but maybe I'll still put my snake plants into here. And I should have enough snake plants where I broke them down. I should have 3 containers worth. So let's fill up 3 of these. Let's do one of each color. So you can totally tell I had these out in the sun. Look what the original color was. And now here's the outside color from it getting so much of the Tennessee sun. And now we're in Idaho, so it'll probably stay this color. Well, maybe. My patio gets nowhere near full sun, so it'll probably, all these will probably stay the color that they are. But yeah, super cute planters. Excuse me. Oh, home from work finally. You'll be back in a bit and on the computer. Oh, awesome, Bri. See you in a bit. See you, Jimmers. You refollowed on YouTube and Twitch last night. Oh, thank you. Oh, you got you unfollowed from the name change, and since you didn't recognize the new name. Oh, so I did change my name a few years ago. So Puddle Duck is actually a nickname that I've had since I was really, really little. It's the nickname that my dad had for me growing up. So I was my dad's Puddle Duck. I really liked playing in the rain and in puddles, and yep, there was no getting away from that. I would sometimes be out there barefoot running. Um, this one still has a sticker on it. I'm surprised it actually came off. Normally after a while the sticker doesn't come off. Oops, I totally have a sliver. Or two. That's okay. I'll get them out later. And I was like, you know what? I need my own name. So I got my own name. It's awesome. And I've been telling people that it's okay if you call me Puddle Duck, Ducky, Puddle. I like Ducky the best, I think. Alright, so I am still going to put paper in these too, even though these are, my snake plants will be house plants. They might go outside every now and again if I'm going to be doing like cleaning, but they're mostly for air health in the house. So it's really, really good to still think about the air inside of your house. Snake plants are super low maintenance, and they have a good return for taking in carbon dioxide that we breathe out and producing a lot of oxygen. Just don't call you late for dinner. Will do. I know I'm never late for dinner either. Well, I have been late. Sometimes I forget I make food and I forget that I made food to eat it. And I'll have it like sitting right in front of me, but I'll be so distracted with what I'm doing. But no, I try to be really, really good about nom-noms. Your body needs food in order to have nutrients to work. I think Pac-Man is an awesome name. I remember the game Pac-Man. I just don't know if I ever actually remember how to play Pac-Man. Does that make sense? Like growing up, our family was never allowed to play video games growing up. It's like I don't ever actually remember playing Pac-Man. Does that make sense? Like I remember Pac-Man growing up, but I just don't ever remember playing it. I remember playing a lot of Tetris. Or Snake. You grew up in the 80s and 90s, so that was like bread and butter. We had a Sega growing up that we were my older brothers and sisters had it. It was awesome. We would sneakily play video games. After chores were done, of course. Cows always came first. Jeff! I don't know why, but that totally was a Jeff the Land Shark comment. Do you guys know who Jeff the Land Shark is? I hope so. Jeff is super cool. But Jeff, my goodness. You still hear the sound of the Sega turning on, right? That's like an iconic sound. Jeff, you've never heard of Jeff the Land Shark? Oh my goodness, you need to Google. Because Jeff is super cool. Jeff is one of my favorites. The last time I played Marvel Rivals, I tried being Jeff the whole time. And then Kason told me that I couldn't just keep playing the same character. And I was like, why? Jeff is so cute. Another piece of mulch. There's another piece of mulch. No, I did not. Did not answer that. Okay, so I don't want to put too much soil in here. Oh, that's a pretty rock. I think we found a wishing rock in our soil. So you see how the rock has a line through it? Those are called wishing rocks. It's like a wish. So we're totally keeping that rock. Well, actually I keep all my rocks. They'll eventually get used as like mulching and stuff like that. Oh wow, that is a big piece of mulch. If I was able to travel anywhere in the world, where would I be, or like where would I go? Anywhere in the world? That's a lot of different places. I have a whole bucket list of places to travel someday. Anywhere from Scotland to Ireland to South Africa to Australia. Ooh, I really want to go to Canada and go to a reindeer show. Did you know that there was such a thing as a reindeer show? I totally want to go see one. Apparently it's a thing. People actually have like show reindeer that they show. That's the first time you've heard that about a rock? Yeah, they're called wishing rocks. It's like a wish in there. Jeff, where would you go? If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? Where would anyone go? Okay, let's grab my snake plants. Oh, and look how healthy they look. They seem like they're really nice and hydrated from yesterday. So super, super awesome. That makes me very, very happy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just grab out random ones and I'm gonna divide them between these three. So you can actually plant snake plants really close together if you want, or you can plant one by itself in a plant. I like having them close together. Whoop, do not fall over, please. Let's take some of the soil out. I do want to have them relatively close to the surface. You know, put some of that soil back in. The roots will end up going down into the soil, so I'm not too worried about it. And I probably filled them, I just lined it with the paper towel, or the paper towel, the shredded paper again. But I am gonna try to plant these all relatively close together. Because later this year I will see about possibly replanting them up again, just to check on their health, because they were diseased ones, and it seems like the tops, actually let me show you that. Where I cut the tops off yesterday, there's some of them that are still healing over. I don't know if you can see that in between there. So some of that's still healing over. You can still tell it's a fresh cut, but here's this one that we cut, and it's already started to heal over overnight. So I want to plant them close together because I will be upplanting them again later this year. But right now I want to keep them close together and really kind of keep an eye on their health. So I want to keep them more shallow. All of my cuttings will be going into a glass, and we'll see if they will shoot out roots, which they should grow out roots. That is how you propagate snake plants. All right. We'll plant those in here. So I'm gonna move this to up here. Now let's get plants to go into this one. Now you can still kind of see there's some of the old soil on here yet. So make a little pile. Try to break that up a little bit. There's some older roots in here too that they're not viable roots, so I'm just gonna pull them off. You can kind of tell the difference between roots that are alive and then roots that are dead and they're basically soft, I guess, and very pliable and squishy. Like it's you can tell that it's dead roots and not actually live roots. So I'm going to tear those out a little bit because I can see that there's actually some hydrophobic soil still in there. And there's more dead roots. So that can actually all come out. And new roots are already grown back and stuff like that, so I'm not worried about killing it. It's still a very healthy plant. Oh, look at this one. This leaf grew out 2 pups. And I think if I remember correctly, some of these leaves, they were only like this tall when they first started. Like 1 inch to 2 inches, or maybe even 3 inches for some of them. So that leaf still grew in size, even with the propagation. Okay, let's make sure that all of your roots are tucked in. We do not want to have any of the roots out. Oh, sorry about that. 1 second. There we go. Sorry if that was really loud. You love traveling? Oh, you love traveling, so you like asking questions? But you would love to travel to Japan, Greece, England, pretty much anywhere. Ooh, Greece would be super cool to go and see. I did see a Parthenon remake in Nashville, Tennessee. They actually have uh, a remade Parthenon where Athena is in there. Super, super cool to see if you haven't seen that in the US yet. I'm pretty sure I have dirt in my face. Sorry about that, if you can see that. Oh, another place that'd be really cool to see is the Valley of the Kings in Egypt. And to see like the Nile River and also the different species of crocodile that they have there. You love history? So places like Rome, ooh, the Colosseum, that would be so cool. I also love history. I just wish I could remember like dates and stuff a lot more. uh, a lot more. But that was one of the things that I loved was archaeology. That was like one of my favorite things ever. You love to visit Jerusalem and any other significant areas? Ooh, that would also be very cool. I was actually reading a book recently where they did traveling to see some of the places. Oh no. I was trying to use this to actually keep this upright and I ended up getting some soil in there, so when I water it, I'll have to water it really good. Alright, let me get some of these other plants in here. I'm still going to try to make sure that when I put these in, that I'm still leaving enough room in between where they still have good airflow. I don't want to like pack them all together in a really tight bundle and then put them in. That can cause mold and rot and stuff in between your leaves, and you don't want to do that. You too would love to see Israel one day and places. Oh, that would be super cool. Yes. That would just be super cool to see all those places. I would love to ride a camel one day too. I think that'd be super cool. Ooh, and a donkey. That'd be cool. Give me 1 second. My headphone died. Sometimes my headphone just turns off. It doesn't even say anything to me. All right, so I actually have several cuttings. This is super cool. You know what? I do actually have a cup of water ready to go for the cuttings to go into. So what I did for my cuttings yesterday is the tops, I cut on a slight slant. Oh, words. I cut the tops on a slant, so that way I knew what was the top, and then the bottom I did straight across. So I don't know if you can see that at all. And then slant on the top. You see that? Yeah. So even this little piece will end up growing a new plant. Look how healthy that is. So pretty. Woo! Please do not fall over. There we go. Let's see, I have this little one yet. This one I'm gonna stick in water because this one broke off of a pup that it made. So I wanna see if it'll grow a new pup out of the bottom. So we're gonna leave that one in water. So here are all water ones. Okay. We'll put this back over here by the sink. Put this one together first. I don't know if you guys can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna try to put the stems towards the outside of the planter. So that way there's plenty of airflow towards the inside. And then I'm gonna gently backfill in with soil. That is this one. And now sometimes stuff like this, it takes time, and that is totally okay. But you still want to make sure that you're being gentle with the roots when you're backfilling with soil, and that you're still keeping the plant raised and kind of like teasing the soil down underneath the actual plant and in between the roots. We're gonna put this one right here. Now I do technically have enough room where I could stick another plant in here. So before I finish that, I'm gonna kind of have all of them be tentatively planted before I go back in and make sure that everything is planted in really good. All the soil is packed in and whatnot in case I need to move plants around. This stem is very long. Is there a place there's a place in Big Bend National Park here in Texas where you can cross over into Mexico. Over there you can take a donkey ride into a town supported by tourism. I think I remember you saying something about that, Bri. Really be smooch. That would be totally awesome. You heard that some folks in Kentucky rebuilt Noah's Ark to scale, so that would be awesome to see as well. Wait, to scale? Oh my goodness. Do they by chance run a zoo? Because that'd be really cool if they have two of each animal. Just a little bit. That'd be so super cool to see though. I think when I water these the first time, I might actually water these smaller ones in my sink. Okay. Let me get the soil in there. I keep picking up pieces of mulch. In the past, I have actually taken the soil that I plant seeds in and plants inside. I have a separate strainer, like a colander that I use, and I have actually um, taken all the bigger mulch pieces out to just have the finer soil. I have done that in the past. I do also have on my porch right now my actual sifter that I would use for my leaf and like tree piles that I would mulch down into like a big huge compost pile. I do actually have my big huge sifter that I did think about using to get all the bigger pieces of mulch out, but I was like, no, I'm gonna make a bigger mess in the house. I probably shouldn't bring that in here. That's an outdoor piece of equipment. I did build it though. I used pallet wood and chicken wire. Actually, not chicken wire. I think I just used steel netting because it's a little bit sturdier than the chicken wire. The chicken wire would have too big of holes. I think I used like a 1/4 inch steel netting for that. And then I just used staples to staple it across. But I saved some pallet wood so from some like the cross beams in the pallets that had like the cutouts to them, so that way they're more like handles where I could sift it over the top of the wagon that I have. There is a zoo there as well. It's called the Ark Encounter. You want to go there one day? Ah, that'd be super cool. It'd be super cool if we all ended up there on the same day. Brian, can we add that one to the list? Okay. That is together. Now for this one. All right, that should end up good right there. Nope, gonna move this one over just a wee bit. Done! Yay! That makes me very excited. All right, let's move this plant over. Ooh, let me move this onto the table a little bit more. And while I'm thinking about it, oh no, I don't need to pin that. Okay. Another piece of mulch. I want to make sure that I water this in really, really well, because last time when I backfilled in dirt, I had it too far up the stem. So if I water this in really, really well, it'll help the soil to really settle down in around the plants. And that way if I'll need to, I won't use all the soil, because I want to make sure that if I need to add more soil after I water it in really, really well, that I have the soil available to do that, where it's ready to go and use. I'm also curious as to, normally I put like coffee grounds in around my snake plants to help with like bug control, but I wonder if cinnamon would also be a good idea to sprinkle in with the coffee grounds to help with any like pests that want to make sure that they stay out of my soil and away from my plants. Does anyone else ever get that? Do you get like fungus gnats and stuff in your house, especially during the really, really warm months? I know that it can get bad for like apartment buildings because all the pipes are connected through the entire building. All right, I need to come back to this one so I can finish backfilling over here. You get ants, but not the fungus gnats? I wish I could see that there wasn't any fungus in some of the stuff, because my seedlings that I had before had the fungus, but that's because of the recyclable paper cups I had used to do seed starting. I definitely will not be doing that again. That was such a bad experience. In every single one of my cups practically, I had mushrooms that are not the good kind of mushrooms growing out of my seedling cups. That was so sad. All of this soil though is sterilized, so we're good to go. You heard it's good to add coffee grounds to your soil? It is good. It's especially good for indoor plants to try to help keep like any of the fungus gnats out of the top of your soil. Something about the coffee grounds, they just don't like it. I know that it does have a lot of acidity to it, so you don't want to add it to a plant that does not like acidity. Because when you water, that acid then can go down into your plant. If it's a darker roast coffee ground, there's less acidity in there, so you might be okay. I normally can put my coffee grounds in with anything because I like dark roast coffee. But the lighter the roast, the more acid it has in there. Scott, hello! Scott, how's it going? How's the family? You live in Florida, there is a bug. Oh, if there is a bug, you probably get it year-round along with fungus. Oh, I know. I sometimes get fungus. We had fungus gnats in our apartment, in our drains this winter, actually. They came through like the bathroom sink, I think they did. It was really sad. Only a few of them though, luckily. But is it the humidity that causes the fungus to grow? But yeah, I also hear that cinnamon is really good for trying to keep bugs out of your soil. So that way they're not tempted to get into your soil and grow things. Ooh, another rock. Scott, is you needing a hydrate? We can totally do that. Scott, thank you. Reminder to everyone to hydrate. Hydration is very, very important. I even have electrolytes in this one. But Scott, what have you been up to? Have you been putting together any models lately? Playing all the games? Thank you also for the hydrate. Thank you, thank you. I do need to be drinking more water. I got told by the doctor of how much my bones and stuff moved and how much tension that I had. That I need to drink a lot of water, otherwise I have a lot of the lactic acid buildup. It was really bad. But I feel so much better after that appointment. Alright, I'm gonna move stuff around so that way I can sit down and chit chat to you guys while I fill in soil, because I feel like this might actually take me a lot longer. Because I need to go back through and make sure that the soil is down into the roots. More mulch. You've been busy causing trouble as always. Oh no, not you, never you. No trouble. I really want to tell a dad joke right now. But I can't remember if it's one that you've told before or one that Balak told. For anyone that does not know, jokes are always welcome in here, as long as they are family-friendly jokes. Me, never. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, that piece of mulch just broke right apart. I love when that happens. It's like, what do you compare it to? I can't even remember. I can't even think of what to compare it to. It's whatever you have, and it just like crumbles apart like super, super easily. It's been a while for a good joke. Do you guys all know why cows have to wear bells? It's because their horns don't work. I know, I should have waited a little bit. Yep. I was too excited to tell the ending. Shadow. Shadow Star. Yep, I told that one. I just said it. I did it. You heard it here. Move to the left. And thank you everyone who's also watching over on the YouTube side. Thank you also for being here. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, if anyone wants to share a dad joke, they can totally do so. Has to be family friendly. Okay, I think all the soil is pretty much packed in here. So I really, really like these self-waterers, especially when I'm gonna be gone for a while. It's gonna be really, really nice to have this in here. What do you call a cow that can play a musical instrument? Scott says, impressive. That too. Is it musical? Look at it. My plant is so happy. Oh, what is that? Is that a string? Yeah, we'll toss that. A musician. Look how happy my snake plant is now. So all the disease is cut off of it. And now it's in new soil. We still need to water it in really, really good. And then if it needs more soil on top, we'll put more soil on top. Down the road, I do actually have some rocks and stuff that I can put on the top as like a mulch for it. But I want to wait until I can see if it has any new spots of disease on it that I will have to cut off, and I'll probably end up replanting it down the road. Reminds you of the dad joke, what do you call a cow without any legs? Ground beef. Yes, absolutely. Oh, I also need to remember to grab my sketch pad and draw down my idea to do a snake plants in a house down the road. Where it'd be really, really cool to have some sort of trough or gutter. Use something to have like a long, elongated trough of some sort and have it down like the side of a wall or down like a hallway, and have snake plants growing in them because they can grow really, really tall, and to have it be like along the wall. Because you saw how big like just one of those plants were. It only takes up like this much space to go along, and to have it all the way along the wall. Maybe plant or paint the like a really nice long hallway, paint it like a green or something like that, and then have this up against it. Scott, oh man. Okay. Oh, I wonder if I should, hold on. I didn't think about that. This will actually help a lot. Sorry if this is loud. I guess I didn't think about that. It is a little bit. Sorry. I didn't think that that's actually a really good way for me to shift the soil down in here. So I can actually add soil already. Why didn't I think about that before? I did that last time when I planted these. What is a cow's favorite school subject? Grass? Is that a school subject? Horticulture? Calculus? Oh, I totally would have gone with horticulture. Or agriculture? I was getting made fun of the other day because my egg and egg sound the same exact thing. Like egg for agriculture. Apparently my Midwestern accent, like egg and egg, they're two different things. Egg, egg. Agriculture, egg. I was getting told that it sounded too similar. You heard the same thing? No! Egg, egg. Egg and egg. Say leg, leg. Leg. Yeah, egg. Egg, egg. Agriculture, egg, egg. Leg, egg. I don't understand. Oh, goodness me. Everyone in their different accents. Did it sound different? Did it sound different now? A little bit? Do, do, do. Ooh. Let's stand you up a little bit. The plants aren't super fragile, so I'm totally okay with being like, oh hey, this needs to get pushed over, and then I just put soil in there and I pack it down, and now it's upright. Snake plants are pretty sturdy, so I'm okay with being a little bit not so gentle with them. Oh, the way that I say big. It's a Wisconsin thing. Or a Midwestern thing. A bag or bag. Bag. Milk, milk, milk. I say milk. Ooh, let me pour this in from this side. There we go. Here's the second one. See, there's still plenty of room in there for airflow. Put this over here to water. And now the last one. Let me get some of my soil put together a little bit here. Don't overfill the soil. I still need to water it down, so it'll end up packing it in there a little bit more. Especially since I also put paper in the bottom, my shredded paper for insulation for these plants. I'm not too worried about it being over full. Especially since then later this week, I'll probably go through and put some coffee grounds in after I water it in really good. Yeah, I definitely want to make sure that I'm not planting it too far over the top of the soil too. Because yeah, I definitely don't want any of the soil or the rotting of the stems. So if there are some of them where if I need to pull it up a little bit more and then retuck it into the soil, I can definitely do that. Like this one, probably went a little bit too far with that one. Oh, is that the one that has 2 pups? Yes. Just the coffee grounds, not my coffee. So I use reusable coffee K-cups for my coffee. And then I'll let the K-cups sit out for like a day, and then I pour them into containers for it to finish drying out, and then I use that um, as to put on like the top of my soil. I'll put like a nice thin layer on it to help with any like fungus gnats to keep them out of there. And any other bugs. They don't like the coffee beans in there. Have you ever done that? Do you have houseplants, Scott? Oh, your work is giving grounds away. Ooh, that would be amazing for like garden beds outside even, or even just for compost. It's a really good. It's a good brown for your compost. There's like greens and browns. You want to have a good ratio of one to the other. But yeah, coffee grounds are amazing for composting and for filling up your garden beds also. Oh, part of the roots is sticking out. Oh no. Okay, let's tuck you in. Good thing I noticed that. I do not want any roots sticking out. Whenever I'm up planting plants where there's very narrow spaces in between and you need to fill soil in there, you can actually take some paper and roll it up like a funnel and stick it in where you need the soil to be, and then put the soil in through the top of your funnel, and then it'll fill up where you need it to be. Are you talking about giving them a large amount of caffeine? Is that what you're talking about, Scott? No, they will be just fine. The one thing you'd have to worry about is if your plants do not like high acidity, then do not put coffee grounds directly on them. If you water from the top, if you top water, if you water from the bottom, if you bottom water, then you should be fine putting coffee grounds on the top. But if you top water and you have a plant that does not like acidic soil, then you can actually cause your soil to become too acidic. Especially with the lighter grounds that you have with the lighter roasts, because the lighter roasts have more um, acidity to them. The lighter the roast, the more caffeine and the more acid in it. Unless you have like certain circumstances where shade grown coffee beans have less acid in them. So like a medium roast grown from a shade bean has less acid in it. There's a whole science behind it. But I would say that if you're bottom watering your plant, then and your plant does not like acid, you should still be fine with putting coffee grounds on the top. But if you're top watering, um, or if your plant just doesn't like acid or acidic soil, I would just completely avoid the coffee grounds for that and use something like cinnamon instead. I have never seen Little Shop of Horrors at all, so I have no idea what that is, what that would be from. Okay, I'm trying to get this in without completely like covering up the plant. There we go. Man, I still got some in there. All right, look at that. What do you guys think? Wow. Oh, I've never seen it? Yep, I've never seen it. There's just some things I've never seen. I don't know. There's some things I've never seen. Oh, you think it's one of the best? Well, I can definitely see about adding that to the list. Oh my goodness. Okay, I did not realize what time it was. I do want to look at still being able to set up for Call of Duty this evening. So I think that now that these are planted, which thank goodness, I do have all my seeds. I have more containers to fill up and 2 bags, but I think that I'll actually start earlier tomorrow with the garden stream. Hopefully, hopefully in the morning. Because I want to see about not only getting seeds in the ground, but I also want to see about planting in my green onions. I will see about chopping off like the tops and stuff like that. um, I can do that tonight and chop them up and put them in the freezer. Um, so that way we can plant these up then too. So I am going to see about ending my stream, but if you guys want to raid anyone that you would like to, you can do a hashtag puddle duck raid and turning notifications on if you guys want to come and see Call of Duty later. I know that there was a new update. Oh, and I'll also make sure that I keep my wishing rock before I forget. I'll actually clean this up really nicely and I'll put it by my other wishing rocks. I keep all of mine that I find. I like actually collecting rocks, so little tidbit. But yeah, let me put hashtag puddle duck in the chat. Ooh, my hands are full of soil. Puddle duck raid. So that way you can copy and paste it if you would like to. But otherwise, everyone, I will see you in a bit. I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to get some dinner, refill up my water, take Remi outside. But then I will be back in hopefully less than an hour. I don't want to say a certain time for sure, just because it depends on how long Remi needs outside. And also how long it takes me to eat some dinner. But then I'll get the stream set up and I will be back with some Call of Duty in a bit. So I'll see you guys all later. Pegman, have a wonderful night if I don't see you later as well. But otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow if I don't see you this evening. So have a good night, everyone. See you in a little bit. Bye.